Mark with Precision Computing. In this video, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of what you see here, the Crate Computers computer case. Initially when they launched, they had a Crate computer that actually had a computer inside that was optimized to be, this is meant to be like a portable, really meant for like a LAN computer station that can be picked up, moved around very easily. Now it's just the case, no computer inside. Stay tuned, we're going to get the unboxing done on this Crate Computers computer case. Alright, and let's get right into it. Now, I have not, as you can see, opened this box yet. So I have no clue what I'm getting into, and I have not really seen any videos of this product yet. So, kind of excited. Of course, I've studied it online and have a plan already for the mod that we're going to be doing. That mod is going to be sponsored by Zotac. It's also going to be in the Zotac booth at CES this year. Not quite sure the best way to do this, so let's move my little apparatus out of the way. It's a trick. Okay. Open the box, see what's inside it, and go from there. Okay. This looks to be the whole case. Beneath it, we might have the stand or something like that, but we'll get this out first. It's very nicely packed, all in foam. You can see it's not very big. This is the whole computer case itself. And this is a micro ATX platform. So it's not meant for an ATX or not micro ATX, I'm sorry, mini ITX. It is not meant for an ATX or micro ATX case or motherboard. It's purely meant for mini ITX, very small form factor. It does have I/O mounting for full-length graphics cards. Of course, we're going to customize it. And it's a box inside a box, which is pretty smart, but that looks to be it. Box is pretty empty. So all of our goodies must be inside here. This is our stand. Now, this is what the case mounts to back here, behind the stand. So the case will be here, and then there is a mount that mounts your monitor in front of the stand here. So I don't have, well, it doesn't matter, we're not going to get into configuration or anything in this video anyway, we're just doing an unboxing. So this is the whole case right here. Nicely packaged. Very small. Perfect for a LAN party. I mean, I could see all of our screws and everything inside, but you got this mounted to here. You got your monitor in front. Very small footprint. That'd be the footprint of probably like a standard ATX computer case, but it's everything. Monitor, case, all together. Here on the case, we can see the Crate Computers logo cut out here. And that's 4 screws and some kind of standoff, it looks like, hold it to this other plate that mounts to the case to actually access your inside to mount all your computer components. So I'm just going to take this off because I'm going to be customizing all of this. Looks like there is some ventilation in the side here because This is where our graphics card would mount. So if you had just an air-cooled graphics card, nice ventilation to pull right into your fans on your GPU. In the top, there's two press out little round punches here. And then this looks like maybe 92 millimeter. It doesn't even look like 120 millimeter. I'm sure I can verify that. You grab a fan and I'll verify that for you guys. Looks like 92. I'm not really bothered by it because I'm going to be cutting it out, customizing it. So the case is more than 4.5 inches wide, I believe. There's no, when I take the side panel off, there's no latch or anything for it to sit into. Okay, it's just, as you can see, it doesn't lock in. It's just the 6 thumb screws that hold this side panel on. And then we can see on here that there are mounts for additional fans. Let's see here. These are for 120 millimeter fans. The top here would be for a 92 millimeter. But the top of the case is more than 4.5 inches wide. So we'll be able to get a 120 up in here and not trip on anything. Grab a 120 millimeter fan here, and with just a little customization, we'll be able to get it in there. Man, if I was them, I would have probably made this like another 1/2 inch wider and made these for 120s up here, because there's not going to be many cooling options as far as like an all-in-one cooler. If you wanted to do custom cooling inside, that's going to have a 90 millimeter fan. It's all going to be 120s. So for additional cooling and not just limiting the case to be an air-cooled case, if this case was a 1/2 inch wider, it would make it so that it was did not have to be customized, and they could just have 120 millimeter fans up here. Can't imagine that that would increase the budget insurmountably or not. It looks like down here we have, this is our little hard drive bay, and there's plugs in the back for power and SATA. Not quite sure. Well, these are going to slide out. Again, I didn't see any videos on this. Oh, there we go, online. So it's just kind of like a server. There's a little circuit board in there. You would slide your 2.5 inch drive in, lock it in. Same with the other one. The latch mechanism is just really hard to get open. Yeah. But once you get it open, it powers, looks like two 2.5 inch SATA drives. Looks like a little LED indicator here at the bottom with just one SATA cable, one SATA power cable, and 2 SATA data cables. Inside the case here, we can see down here an I/O, 3 slots wide. They only provide 1 I/O slot cover, unless there's more in our accessories bag, which we'll get to in a minute. But there's only 1 pre-installed. There are 2 more thumb screws up here. But if you're going to use a dual slot graphics card, you're going to need 2 slots open anyway. So we'll see if there's more inside here. And it does come with a pre-mounted bracket in here for a GPU. I'll be replacing that because these are very brittle and you tend to lose some graphics capabilities on that. So I will be replacing that one, but we will be utilizing their slot design here. Here is our mounting for our ITX motherboard, our I/O shield in the back. So we'd be able to get to everything from the back of the case here. I/O, GPU, here's your SATAs if you need to get those out. And then this is made for a small form factor power supply, which now that I see how narrow this case is, that's something else I didn't really take into consideration. I thought I had at least enough space to be able to get a small power supply and I'll be able to mount a standard ATX power supply in here. I'll probably have to figure out how to do that because there's not a lot of space in here to work with. I was hoping that the case was a little bit wider so that I could mount an all-in-one cooler on the top here. I was going to use one of the SwiftTech units and maybe rigid tube it, but that might be kind of dumb since everything's going to be so tight. So I'll probably just leave the flex tubing on. Probably not water cool the graphics card, so the slots for that will be great. And I wanted to do at least a dual fan mount in the top here. So I may need to, well, I'm going to customize this side panel anyway. So I may just have to re-tap holes because I may have to cut this away so that the fan, because the fan will fit right over here. You can see that it'll fit inside the case and the case will shut. It's just real tight. But because of this piece that bends down here, it doesn't fit. So I'll have to cut away this top mount and then I can get the AIO up here. I'll cut these holes out for 120mm fans so that I get full airflow and just use some fan grills, which was the plan in the first case. And then, because of the tight quarters in here, my tubing will have to, I'll have to figure out which side my pump combo is going to sit on, and where I'm going to put the power supply. I might wind up going with the power supply unit that comes in the Zotac Mini PC. They're going to send me one of the Mech 1 mini gaming PCs. It's an ITX setup. It's a complete setup, so we're going to swap it out of the case that they provide it with, which is really nice, and swap it into here. So I may end up using that power supply, and then maybe just some extension cables that I can get instead of fully sleeved cables all the way to the power supply. I can make a little covered shield to cover those up. On the front here, you do have a crate computer serial badge. I'd like to see that on the inside because I am going to be removing this. All of these internal parts are removable. The motherboard tray, we can see, is held in here by 5 screws, so it's not permanently mounted. So I might have the option to, since I'm going to remote locate the graphics card here, maybe I can move that motherboard tray. Or we'll see. When I get the components, I'll start putting them inside and we'll see how we're going to build inside this thing. It is very tight quarters, but it was meant to be that way. It was meant to be small, portable, lightweight, including the stand, which is very sturdy. Again, the Crate Computers logo on the stand. Dimensions could have been, I think, massaged just slightly, just to incorporate more things. There is also, of course, your power button and power LED, which is wired inside the case here for you, right on the front. No reset, no USB ports, but I'm imagining that you don't really need front panel USB when your I/O shield is right here. Good point. Now let's take a look at the accessory bundle. It comes inside a padded envelope here, and that's that. So this here is our motherboard. This is our monitor mount. So it's got your VESA mounting points, looks like 70 and 100mm, and then your mounting points to mount onto the case here, like so. It does have two slotted. It is, as you can see, we can adjust the angle of our monitor once it's on the case. So I imagine if I put it upright so I could adjust it down a little bit, that would probably be my best. It's not height adjustable, just a little bit of tilt adjustment built in. Nice feature. Inside, our other component bundle here, we have Crate Computers decal. This is a sleeved fan hub. It's nice. A couple of the headers are bent. Not a huge deal, but you always got to watch for things like that. Plug it in and now it's broke. Just like that. Bingo. It is sleeved. It does have your heat shrink on the ends there, but it looks pretty nice. 3M double-sided tape on the back, so you can put that anywhere inside the case, run multiple fans, plug this into your CPU header, and it does have labeled down here CPU fan 1, fan 2, fan 3, fan 4. So you can either use it to monitor if you're just going to be running a single fan on your CPU or an air-cooled solution. It would be limited in height. But with that being said, it's a small case. We knew that when we got into it. There's your 4 large screws in here for mounting to our stand, to our monitor mount. An Allen key for those screws. I would know that's Phillips. So we'll see what the Allen key is for. And then 2 zip ties. And then there's some longer Phillips screws in here that I would imagine will be for your Visa mounting. Well, there's 3 and 3 and 3 thumb screws. No more I/O shields, so you just get the one I/O shield. So if you're going to use a single slot graphics card, you will have one slot open. And then these are cable management. These little plastic pieces, you take the 2-phase tape off, stick it anywhere inside the case, and your zip tie will fish through here, grab your wires, snug it tight, and hold them in place. So it's going to take some cable management in a case like this, especially considering if I'm running a 1070 Ti, 1080 or 1080 Ti as the graphics card. I may swap to a small solution for this case, or a mini card, so it was really short here, so that I can have more space up in the top for the AIO. Really, it's going to depend on what that Zotac computer comes with, and then possibly using some other stuff that I have in the meantime. Very cool concept, very cool idea, very sturdy build. It's very structurally sound. It's not thin metal, it's not tinny. The stand is thick. The metal is probably an 1/8 inch thick. It's a good 1/8 inch thick. So that's going to hold your weight of your computer, the weight of your monitor, without any problems. With that being said, I think we've covered everything that comes in the box. I'll probably take this tray out, and we'll be doing more video as we're doing the mod and things like that. So you'll get to see a little bit more on how this is going to all go together. But for now, overall, I think it's a great concept. You know, you could just have a little mini PC sitting behind your monitor if you're going to a LAN. But this allows you to mount everything, pick it up with a handle, carry it around. So you do have that option. It's not cheap by any means, but it's also durable. So it's very well made, as I said before. But like I said, I would like to see like a 1/2 inch wider, you know, or an inch wider, because it's not really going to affect the balance of anything. All you're doing is giving a little bit more space for better fans in the top, more customization options for an all-in-one cooler, or even custom cooling if you want to do that. But then you'd have to figure out where to mount a pump. And inside here, you're already going to be tight on space. So there's only limited to 2.5 inch hard drives. No option for 3.5 inch. And I mean, you can, you know, if you put some on the back wall here, maybe with some 2-phase tape or something like that. There's no mounting options, but there would be space available for that. You know, just nothing that's incorporated in the case that would require, you know, any kind of customization that you were going to do. I did note that inside the case here, before your motherboard was mounted, there's options for screw pass-throughs. So I would imagine that you're going to want to screw from the inside of the case to the mounting, your mounting structure here. or you can screw that way inside. No, because the threads are inside here, they're not inside the case. So you're going to have to, what seems to mount the case to this before you build inside it, unless you take the motherboard tray off. But then if that's mounted on there and the motherboard tray is off, maybe you can still see the screws. Yeah, okay, so if you take the motherboard tray off, that's one thing that they did do. You can mount this to the back of here, build on your motherboard tray, then mount your motherboard tray back in your case with your motherboard on it, and build from there. So we'll see how this all works out. Like I said, my initial plans and thinking was that there was a little bit more space available inside this case, and being that there's not, it's just going to take a little more custom work. But it won't be something that I can as easily recommend to you guys who just want to buy something that you don't have to hack apart to have a mini gaming rig. If you're going air-cooled, low profile air solution, that's totally fine. But again, in today's market, we're seeing all RGB in fans and things like that. And this is going to be a big limitation for me on the top with only 90 millimeter up here. There's not a lot of companies that are pumping out 90 millimeter RGB addressable fans. So that's going to be a hindrance. It's just going to be to bring some air inside the case to cool your components. The vent on the side here is just a vent. There's no mounting holes for fans. So you couldn't add fans here to bring air into the case and have it exit out up here. It's just one way that you're going to have the fans able to blow into the case here. And this is just going to be ventilation. So it's going to be a positive system, which is fine. But I would like to see, like I said, a little bit wider, a little more options for fans that you could mount. And customized solutions. I know this thing's been around for a little while, but we got to keep up with the times. Overall, great quality. We'll get more into it as we get more into building it and customizing it and seeing just how far I have to go to hack into this thing to make it do what I want it to do. Initially, I was going to incorporate speakers in here. I have speakers on the way. There's not going to be enough space for that. I was trying to make this a complete all-in-one solution. So your speakers could be mounted, if this was mounted here to your stand, slimline speakers here pointing it around your mouse, or around your monitor. If it's going to be a LAN party, you're probably just going to use a headset anyway, which is why they don't think about things like that. I just tend to think outside the box. So that's my first initial thoughts, unboxing. We see everything that comes with it, what it's all about, and stay tuned for the next video. Mada.